folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our book for today is Game Changer. This is the first book in the Game Changer series by Rachel Reid and published by Crane Press. Now, there is a lot of sex in this one, at like every chapter practically. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Seriously, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, so this is not a particularly new book. It came out in 2018, this first one. There's now, I think, about 7 or 8 books so far since then. And I've actually accidentally read the second book in the series before this one, because I thought that was the first one for some reason. So yeah, I mean, in this particular series case, it's not such a big deal with this one. Now, I've heard of this, or found out about this actually through YouTube, because there's a series. I still don't know where the series is shown, Netflix or something else. There's so many streamings and shit. But yeah, I've seen a clip online. And I was like, oh, I wonder what this one's about. You know, I love me some boys love, or men love in this case. And I looked it up and I saw this show's based on a book series. So I decided, I'm going to check this one out. And so I did. I first bought the second book and read it. And then for my birthday, I got me the first one. And now I've also finished reading it. So, okay, let's get into it. I didn't film about the second one. I thought, I might do a video about this. Holy shit, bike. I thought I might do a video about this first one, and that's it, you'll see later in the video why. Okay, so the first book focuses on this here couple, that's Kip, which apparently, as I've learned from Google, is a traditional and also old-fashioned nickname for Christopher. Because when I heard the name, I was like, well, what the hell kind of name is Kip? What, Kippard? Well, there's not such a name as Kippard, I think, but there's some other name I forgot. But yeah, so Kip is apparently, it is a nickname for Christopher. So we have here Kip, who is your, I suppose, average 25-year-old at what counts in America. He has student loans to return. He's working a job at a juice bar thing, and lives with his parents, trying to pay off his loan and somehow improve his life. And then we have here Scott, Kip Grady, and Scott Hunter, who's a very famous hockey player, who's had a bit of a rough time lately with his game. And so he lives not too far from where Kip works, and that's how they meet. He goes in to get a smoothie after Kip started his shift after a night of drinking. But he was seeing old friends. And basically it chronicles their romance for a few months. Now Scott is, no one knows he's a gayer. And Kip is an open gayer. So he comes a few times, and one of those last times he gives him, the $20 for the smoothie, and inside of it there's a little note with his number on it. And so they begin their relationship, which at first is, okay. Kip gets it. Scott stands to lose things if the world finds out that he's gay. Though, honestly, considering he's played since he was a teenager, I think at some point some people would have wondered, he never goes out with any women. Is he gay, maybe? I mean, that would be something that would happen, wouldn't it? So yeah, so Scott's very nervous. They can't go out anywhere. They just really spend time in his penthouse. Kip has his friends that in the course of the book, they're getting better jobs, they're moving on, and Kip just feels stuck. He gets an interview for a job at the museum. He loves history. He gets it from his dad. But he gets denied because he doesn't have a master's degree or something. He's missing there. So he applies to get accepted to learn. But yeah, slowly throughout as the playoffs come closer, Scott's more distracted, doesn't pay attention to him, and at some point, like all couples I'm sure, friction is created, because Kip feels very lonely because he can't tell anyone that he's dating, obviously can't tell him how I'm dating Scott Hunter, the super famous hockey player. And he just feels more and more lonely, and he understands that, Scott is all alone, as he lost his mom when he was a teenager, and all he has is his hockey. He has his team, his 3 best friends as well on this team, but he's afraid to tell them. He's afraid to tell anyone. And he basically only would enjoy some adult activities with other gentlemen when he would go away in the summer to a vacation. So yeah, the friction's created, and Scott and Kip have their first fight, in which Kip leaves. Now, at first, Scott is coming over to the smoothie because it seemed to have improved his game after he got it, so it kind of looks like, maybe it's just superstition, but no, he really likes Kip. They actually fall in love really fast. So then, after this fight, Scott's not playing well, and both of them are miserable. They miss each other. And Kip talks to a bartender he actually knows who flirted with him before, and what to do. And the bartender's also gay, and his name's Kyle. And he says, take it from me, don't bother with the closeted gayers. And he's like, but then he tells him that he's in love. He doesn't tell him it's Scott, of course. But then Kyle tells him, well, then, talk to him then. And Kip tells him, you told me not to bother. And he said, well, I told you not to bother because the guy I had it with, I was in love with him. You're in love, so, try to fight for your relationship. And Kip is, sitting there, doing text him, call him. But then Scott ends up appearing at the juice bar again and asking Kip if they can talk. Now, his fellow coworker, Maria, there, she's like, I knew something was going on. So they talk it out. Scott says that he promised, he's going to stop hiding. After the playoffs, he's going to announce that he's a gayer so they can be together and, go out somewhere finally without... Because they attempt one outing to the museum, but someone notices that he's there, and then a lot of pictures are taken, and Scott's freaking out, and Kip's upset. Because, he's thinking he's more concerned that we were seen together than of, our date and everything. So after they make up and, do what couples do after making up, things are better, the playoffs are coming, and then Scott just decides, I'm going to stop hiding. He first tells his agent that he's gay, and he tells his 3 best friends on the team who are like, oh, okay, I'm a bit shocked, but yeah, all right, man, you're gay. It's just funny because he calls his agent like midnight, and I forgot the agent's name, but he's like, I'm gay. And the agent's like, are you kidding? It's just funny. And then he tells his coach, who's like, yeah, okay, I get it, you're maybe paving the way for other gayers, or, other teenage hockey players that, want to get into the big league, like, oh yeah, it's okay, no one's going to really care too much if we're gay. Well, that's it. Then the game, the playoff game happens. Scott's hockey team, the Admirals, win. Everyone's like, "Holy shit, this is awesome!" And then there's that moment where all the girlfriends and wives of the other players and their children, they kind of congratulate them and like, "Yay!" And Scott feels lonely in that moment because, shit, I can't have my boyfriend down here with everyone. But Kip is there, and then Scott starts to wave at him. Come down. Now Scott is with his best friend Elena. She's a real interesting one. She has some scary connections. And she like tells him, in his ear, like, go, he's waiting for you. So he goes into the penalty box, and Scott catches him, tells him, "Come down, I'll catch you," and then he kisses him. And you can imagine the reaction, like, the cameras there, like, holy shit. I mean, that's one way to come out, right? I mean, minimal, just, the picture is worth 1,000 words. And so after that, Kip is led with everyone else to the locker rooms. They pick up the Stanley Cup. Was it called the Stanley Cup? I think it was. And, there's a party, and then only the players stay. Kip goes to their shared penthouse. And then later, Scott comes back. And so, that's it. And then later in the epilogue, Scott goes to receive, there's an award show of some kind, and Scott gives an impromptu speech. Yay, everyone's happy, and then that night in Vegas, they're having a Scott Hunter night at the gay club. And he's there with Kip, with his 3 best friends, and another hockey players are there that's been traded. And one of his friends' girlfriend. And, they're having a good time. And Ilya Rozanov shows up to, I guess, in a way, congratulate Scott, even though he's an asshole. Ilya, I mean. And he goes there to kind of thank him in a way, without saying it. And there's a bit of spoilers for the second book, but basically, now all this takes place in 2017. There's no timeline here, but in the second book there is for Shane and Ilya. So, to them this happens in 2017. So I take it that's the time period here. So yeah, it basically paves the way for Ilya and Shane in the future books, I imagine. Yeah, because basically there's more books about those two. And that's it. Scott's happy. Now the hockey world knows that he's gay. He can now go out with his boyfriend without having to have a panic attack, and that's it. They at least now live happily ever after. There's also a little storybook with I guess him and Kip having a holiday or Christmas, something Christmas. I remember there was. So that's it. That's basically the story. Okay, let's start with the cover. It's an okay cover. It's cutesy, but I've seen this style a lot lately, and I feel like it's a bit too misleading, honestly, because this is porn, okay? This is romantic porn. This cover is a bit too much teenage love story, if you ask me. It's a bit misleading. I'm not saying it should be, like 2 nude dudes or something, but I don't know. I feel like it needs to clarify adults. But yeah, okay. It's got a smoothie on the side. I didn't think that was cute. But other than that, colors and everything else is quite nice. And this is the author lady, Miss Rachel Reid. She, at least according to this, is a massive hockey fan. Oh, there we go. Adapted into a TV series. Yeah, for some reason they called the TV series Heated Rivalry. Like, not Game Changers, but Heated Rivalry. My guess is probably because maybe it's the most popular book. I, for some reason, think that. That's it. That's all there is. So yeah, there she is. Let's see. There's a better picture in here. Oh no, no picture. Okay, yeah. So, well, that's the cover. Okay, now for the story. So, like I've said this in my wrap up because of last month, because I finished it last month in July. It's now August 2026. About second book. That look, this is fan fiction. This is fan fiction in book form. And I'm not saying this as a bad thing. I'm just telling you, because I read fan fiction. You know, I like to go in, read smutty fan fiction, and turn my brain off. And this is exactly the reason why I love this book series. Because it's that, but instead of me having to open the computer, I pick up a book. And at least it's going to be very well edited. And, you know, I don't need electricity to read it. But, yeah, it's smut. It's basically that fan fiction that has smut, fuck ton of it, angst, and it's mostly porn with a happy ending. Which, again, isn't a bad thing, but that's exactly what you're getting. This is not even, like I said, it's drizzled a bit with hockey here and there. Which, again, I was a little disappointed because I thought, you know, there would be, we'd learn more about hockey. There'll be, like, scenes of the players and shit like that going to do the games and all. But I barely really had any of that, which I was a bit bummed about. Because I just, I thought, oh, at least I'll learn a little bit about the sport. But, no. But again, as a romantic porn, this is great. It's got everything you need. Which is why I think in the future I'll pick up book number 3, maybe. I don't know, I was debating only reading the books with Ilya and Shane, because, well, to be fair, they are the most interesting couple. And again, spoilers for the second book. For them, I guess it's more complicated because from the start of their careers, they're pitted as rivals by the media. So to them, coming out as being together, I guess, at least in terms of people speculating, so that they let each other win over time. Or not, really, because I guess that would be a concern. Now, so that's basically it. It's just, fun smut to read. But again, smut. Another thing I don't get, now, again, look, I don't know any gayers in real life. So, I don't know how it is, obviously, and I'm myself, I'm straight, but I'm just, what I'm thinking of Scott saying that he's so scared to come out is, I mean, again, I don't know even with hockey how it is with athletes. Would people really care that much if you were of another sexual orientation that much? As long as you're a good player. I don't know. I mean, it seems in Hollywood, if anything, it's, like extra bonus points if you're a gayer. So I don't know. I'm just, what I'm wondering, okay, so this story takes place in 2017. It's in New York, in America. What I was wondering, would Scott really lose that much? I mean, I know he's a fictional character, but would he really lose that much? I mean, in America, 2011 was it? They legalized the gayers' marriage? Would he really be that hated by a lot of his fans? I mean, if this story now took place in the, 1960s or 70s, yeah, I get it. Okay, it would be a whole fucking different story then, wouldn't it? There wouldn't be any talks of being open or anything like that. Because Kim's parents are very supportive of him. So I'm just wondering, if, let's say, hypothetically it was real, would he really lose that much? I mean, he's in America. It's 2017. Would what? Would it be here? It's the NHL and NHL. Would they really kick him out for being a gayer? I don't know. I'm just wondering about that. Now again, I don't know. I don't know any gayers in real life. So it's just a thing I wondered. Now again, with Ilya and Shane, I get it from the aspect of they've been pitted as rivals, and then it would probably be bad in that regard, because people would wonder, oh, did you let each other win? I mean, for fuck's sakes, Ilya is from Russia. He certainly can now fucking tell people that he's into men. Well, Ilya's into men and women. But he's in love with Shane, so that would be... Yeah, for him, that would be a major problem. He definitely would have to make sure he leaves old Mother Russia before he does anything. Or comes out and shit. Definitely have to get a passport. Not passport, but get citizenship before he can do anything. So with their case, it's more understood. But here, I mean, what would I mean, again, Scott says that, they say a lot of slurs towards the gayers in locker rooms and shit. And he grew up with that and just made him scared, which, and I'm not saying that's not believable. It just, again, I'm thinking, would it really, do that much to his career? Again, I don't know. And this is also, to be fair, porn written by a woman for other women. Because I've said this before, and I've noticed this, that a lot of these sort of books are written mainly by women for other women, really. Like, I would say it's probably 95% women writing these, and 5%, I think, gayers. Because I've read Lay Your Sleep... Sorry, I was too loud there. Because I read Lay Your Sleeping Head by Michael... I forgot his surname. But he's gay. And I read about the author. He's actually gay. But that's it. I just wonder, is there somewhere out there a straight gentleman who writes stories like this? I very much doubt it. And Lay Your Sleeping Head had a lot of fucking sex, too. But it also had a lot more plot. I mean, that one, too, I thought, okay, that's a bit too much sex. We get more detective work. But, that's just... I don't know. Am I imagining this? Can someone tell me in the comments if you've noticed it as well? It's just what it seems to be. Like,
we're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It's just... I don't know. I'm just wondering. And I'm wondering the same about, let's say, Yuri, when it's two women together. Are most of those books written by, a lot of men and then a small percentage of lesbians? I'm just curious. Like, is it like that? Or is it just what I've seen? Now, there's probably a shit ton of books out there that I don't know about. It's like with everything else. But I would have liked an answer. And I was, more serious. I'm sure with the success of this one, there'll probably be more, but just curious. I mean, well done to Miss Reid. I mean, shit, she's got a TV show now based on this. She's making them shekels. Yeah, it seems to me that a lot of this is written by women. For other women who, like myself, some man-on-man action. So, yeah, that's just what I've been wondering. So, yeah, look, if you want to read some romantic porn drizzled with a bit of hockey in there, I'd say this is the book for you. Or even if you just want to read some porn, because there's not that much hockey in here. Go for it. This too is the book for you. However, if you don't like any of that stuff, this is definitely not the book for you. I enjoyed reading this one. I will in the future probably pick up the other books. You know, occasionally I like to read something where I can turn off my brain and just enjoy the smut. So, yeah, I think I'll eventually slowly read the whole series. But, however, if you want a romance with gayers that has more plot, look for another series. And if you find a good one, let me know. I'd like to check that out too. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know what you thought of Game Changer. And that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on